going on, guys? Steve Pulaski back with another video review, this time with a brand new Matthew McConaughey film, Gold. This is a movie that's a little difficult to explain, actually. It concerns this big Canadian corporation scandal that involved a company called X in the early 90s. And it was a company that basically thought that it unearthed literal tons of gold from this one small location in Indonesia. Basically unearthed like over 2,000 tons of gold and had all these investors trying to buy stock into it. It was a company that was a penny stock company that eventually wound up getting huge and wound up like selling for about $280 a share once this gold was allegedly found. So all these investors bought into it. It turned out to be the biggest fraud, one of the biggest like oversights in Canadian stock history. And it was a big gold mining scandal. And apparently it's pretty, you know what I mean, it's pretty common in like the prospector circle as being famous for that. Now this movie, this Matthew McConaughey film, it focuses on this story, but it displaces it. Instead of setting it in 1993 when this happened, this movie's set in the 80s for whatever reason. They backtracked quite a bit, so it's very strange how this movie kind of came about. I'm not really sure what the idea was, but Matthew McConaughey plays Kenny Mills, the CEO of this company, and Kenny Mills is not a real character. That's the thing. He's loosely based off of the CEO of this X company, whose name slips my mind at the moment. But this character didn't even exist. So Matthew McConaughey just went and got this receding hairline and this beer gut and being a chain-smoking alcoholic for no particular reason. So I found that pretty cool. I mean, it really does show his range and his dedication to his performances. But the film basically revolves around him, and he's the son of a really wealthy prospector, these modern prospectors who do it as a business, not the guys that are, you know, panhandling for gold during the gold rush in the 1900s. But basically what the film revolves around, though, is him. He's this character, he's the son of this prospector, and he wants to build his own corporation and find this gold, so he teams up with this with his partner, with this Indonesian guy played by Edgar Ramirez. So the two of them wind up, he's Venezuelan guy. They team up, though, and they try to find this gold, and it winds up becoming this huge scandal of sorts. You know what I mean? That they've unearthed all this gold, and they got all this investor money and such. This is a perfect example of a movie that gets going like an hour and a half too late. It was kind of like Live by Night, kind of like American Sniper, in that the real story doesn't start until like an hour and a half, but by then you're almost already checked out, and all of a sudden the movie starts hitting you with a really interesting character portrayal. It was the same thing that happened with Live by Night. The only difference in Live by Night was that it was a far, far greater thematic revelation that came about at the end, more so than this film, which more so just gets its character off. Like, you never really know, off the ground at least, you never really know what you're supposed to think of Matthew McConaughey's character in the film, which is really interesting. It does provide for a interesting character study. But I mean, the fact that this story's like been, for lack of a better term, I guess, lobotomized from the beginning and displaced in its own time period, coupled with the fact that it's generally an uneven film, it doesn't have that sort of extravagance that I think this story needs. The story doesn't need to be truthful, but it needs to be like entertaining. It needs to be kind of like told in excess. This is a great example of a movie that could have belonged to like the neo-crime drama of film recently, with movies like War Dogs and Wolf of Wall Street and stuff like that are showing these kind of extravagant lifestyles in excess. But it just didn't do that, and it winds up being a very flat biopic biopic drama kind of thing, at least until the very like last 30 minutes or so, when like all the stuff starts raining down on Matthew McConaughey's character. It gets a D+ from me. You know what, I'm gonna change that. It gets a C-. I'll be a little kind today. It gets a C- from me on Influx Magazine scale, or a 2 out of 4 stars on my personal website. I'm Steve Pulaski. Thank you for being with me. Like I said, you can read my full review link below or on Influx Magazine. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you on the next video review. Bye.